begin now, first topic of the conversation right now as we continue sort of breaking down, analyzing the positional units for Alabama football in terms of spring practice. The Crimson Tide will kick things off next Friday, March the 19th. Spraying it in the air. We're gonna get back to hearing the pads pop, the pigskin being thrown around, the plays being made on the field. So as we get into a team and a program trying to repeat as national champions for the first time since 2011 and 2012. It all starts in spring ball. It all starts in spring practice. So we get back into the conversation of breaking down these positional units here for spring ball. And while the most intriguing spot, the spot that draws the most attention, the quarterback race, quarterback battle, quarterback competition and conversation. And while it's supposed to draw the conversation, it's supposed to draw the most attention because it is the quarterback room, it is the quarterback position. Everybody has their eyes on that spot. But a group that will be, I guess, more harder to judge than the quarterbacks, it will go to the defensive secondary. Defensive secondary will be a bit more tougher, a bit more challenging to judge there, to critique there, to kind of, I guess, finalize as opposed to the quarterback position. And I feel like, to me, the defensive back room, that's more of a challenge. That's more of a situation to kind of gauge due to the fact that, and it's not a bad thing, Coach Saban has stockpiled so much talent. He's put together so much talent. He's recruited so much talent here the last 3 to 4 or 5 recruiting classes that we start to forget a lot of these names that are currently on the roster. There are moments where we forget that Jalen Armour-Davis is on the roster. There are moments where we forget that Marcus Banks is on the roster. There are moments we forget that Brandon Turnage, among other guys, they're on the roster. So the big thing here for Coach Saban is trying to hammer down the best starting rotation of 5 to 6 guys that I can get on the field, that I can put on the field in that defensive secondary. That's the big deal. Now, for me, the defensive front 7 will be the big strength. The secondary, once you get the best 5 to 6 guys concretely on the field and they grow together and they gel together and they play together, then that secondary will become a huge strength. But to start off the spring, it's going to take some time for the Tide to lock in, who those guys are. I kind of equate the secondary in the same boat as the offensive line. When you look at the offensive line, Alabama replacing 3 guys. When you look at Alex Leatherwood, Landon Dickerson, and Deontay Brown, though it does return some starters, it's replacing some guys to the NFL, and it's going to have to be able to locate some guys that will be some starters, that will be contributing players, that will be marquee pieces, and the offensive line will have to find that way to gel and get everything working and running there. Same thing with the defensive secondary. It loses Patrick Surtain II to the next level. Now, it does return some guys in that back 5 or back 5 to back 6. And the first 2, you look at having Jordan Battle and Malachi Moore back. This is a big deal. Both of these 2, when you discuss Moore and Battle, are entrenched starters. No one's taking the strong safety position away from Battle. No one's taking the star position in that nickel role away from Malachi Moore. So both of these 2 are leaders. Both of these 2 are now veterans. Both of these 2 are entrenched starters. So you at least know 2 guys in that defensive secondary that aren't going away, that aren't going anywhere. These 2 are starters here. But the questions, the competition flows in other spots. And first and foremost, you bring Josh Jobe in the conversation. He's back for his senior year at that cornerback position. The question with Jobe is, can he fend off the talented freshman? Can he fend off the other guys on that roster to hold on to one of the 2 cornerback positions? Because with Jobe, I feel like you get the physicality, right? You get the physicality, you get the toughness, you get the ability to jam and frustrate wide receivers and get underneath the skin of those playmakers on the outside. You get the positive from Job, you get the passion, you get the effort, you get the energy from Job, but you also get the defensive pass interference, you get the holdings, you get the lining up off sides or jumping off sides for that matter. So you take the good with the bad when it comes to Joe. But the question for him is, can he put it all together technique-wise? Can he clean up the mistakes technique-wise? Can he be the guy that can fend off a JaQuincy McKinstry or a Kadarius Callaway or a Marcus Banks? Can he fend off these guys and hold one of the two cornerback positions, one of the two island spots on the outside at corner? That'd be the big thing there for Josh Jobe moving forward, starting off with this spring here coming in. Now, two names to me that have to be on the field. I don't care how the secondary shakes out. I don't care how Nick Saban puts the best 5 to 6 on the field. Two names that have to start in the defensive secondary: Brian Branch and DeMarco Hellams. These are two names that must get on the field. These are two names that showed you, that proved to you last year they can handle it. They can handle it, they can dominate, they can give you production, they can give you energy, they can give you technique, they can give you quality effort on the field. Brian Branch, this past season, 27 tackles, shared a tackle for loss, had 7 pass breakups among the team leaders, had 2 interceptions against Auburn and Arkansas during the regular season. And of the 12 games he played, and Branch started in 3 of those games. He started against Mississippi State, he started against he started against Mississippi State, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. And in the 3 starts that he had, Branch 14 tackles, 6 pass breakups. So he's around the ball, he's a ball hawk, he's a ball magnet, he's a highlight playmaker ready to happen. A secure tackler, really, really strong there in coverage at 6 feet, 196 pounds. When he came out of Tyrone, Georgia in the 2020 class, he was the all-time leader for interceptions at Sandy Creek High School. This guy's a big deal here. And just to me, no matter how the secondary shakes out, if I'm Coach Saban, if I'm safeties coach Charles Kelly, I'm finding a way to get Brian Branch on the field as a starter. And along with him, DeMarco Hellams, who had 52 tackles a season ago, had 62 tackles, a season ago. He put together a hit stick sort of highlight tape on his end, a guy that not only a big hitter, but he secures the play, he finishes plays, secures tackles, very, very solid in coverage at 6'1", 208 pounds, a guy that can play in the dime role, a guy that can play in the safety role. Both of these two have to be on the field. They must be on the field. It's needful for both of those two to be on the field because of the production and the consistency, just the range, the chemistry that both of these two play with. And Coach Saban, once again, he's always talked about getting his best guys on the field. Brian Branch, DeMarco Hellams, among 2 of your best guys that you need to get here on the field. So the defensive secondary is a huge part here of spring ball. Once again, people's eyeballs are glued to the quarterback conversation for obvious reasons. For the first time since 2017, you look at this as a highly anticipated quarterback fight in breaking down Bryce Young, Paul Tyson, and Jalen Milroe. But I feel like the quarterback battle will be solved before the rotation and the secondary shakes out, because like I mentioned, Nick Saban stockpiles these DBs much like T.I. was stockpiling guns a while back. Nick Saban is putting together, he has put together class upon class upon class upon class of DBs going back to 2017, to where there are moments that you kind of look back and you go, whoa, this cat was on the roster? Whoa, this guy's on the roster? Whoa, that guy's on the roster? Kind of forgot about him. Kind of forgot about that guy. Kind of forgot about that dude. So while Bama has two entrenched guys in Malachi Moore and Jordan Battle. It's going to be interesting to see how the other four guys, how does this rotation shape out here for the Crimson Tide starting off in spring ball. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.